All right, here we go. All right, Pete, here's what I've got. I've got your right view web spreadsheet pasted right here. I've got your foodage and beverage spreadsheet pasted right here. Now, what's important to know is that when I copied these and pasted them into a new workbook, I pasted just the values, not just a straight paste. That's why you don't see any of the colors in here. That's what's going to allow us to format it. So just a quick review, you'll need to add in your filters by using this filter button up top on both of the spreadsheets. I've already got them put in here. Filter, filter. I think it's easiest if you go ahead and filter everything by general ledger account if it's not already. So I click the down button and just go ascending. Got all my grocery together up top. I'm going to go back to the other spreadsheet and do the same. When I find it, should be this category right here, major, ascending. And now they're both kind of in the same order. They're not going to match up exactly, but here's how we're going to write our programs. Oh, looks like I left a format in there. Let me get rid of that. Manage rules, and I think I can just delete this rule. Yes, okay, ignore that. All right, so first I'm going to go to the invoice numbers. All right, and this is your conditional formatting button. It might look a little different on the work computers. We're going to go to new rule. Okay, you may or may not see this first pop-up screen. If you don't, it's because it's already in classic mode, which I just selected. What you want to do is find the drop down that allows you to select use a formula to determine which cells to format. Click that. It's going to let you put your formula in here, and here's the formula that you need to write down or save. It's equals count if, open parentheses. Then you're going to go to the column that you want it to search. Okay, so in this case, we're looking for invoice numbers on this other sheet. We want it to search this column right here, column I. All right, and I'll change those numbers in a second. I'm just highlighting a few of the ones in column I, and then it's column space, and then you got to tell it what it's searching for. So go back to your F&B page and select the same cell that you're sitting on. Okay, I want to know if it matches this cell. And then you're going to close the parentheses, and you're searching for everything that's greater than 0. Okay, now a couple things that you need to change in this formula. One, I only selected I5 through I14, and we want to run it for the whole column. So I'm just going to put in 1,000 real quick. So now it'll go from 5 to 1,000. It's also important that you change this $ right before that last digit. I'm not going to explain why, just do that. And then you get to select what kind of formatting you want. This one gives me some good options. Green fill with the green text. On the work computer, you can choose what colors you want, and you're going to hit OK. And that cell that we just formatted is highlighted green because it's found a match on the other spreadsheet. Now what I need to do is make that happen for all of them in this row, and the way to do that is just hit your format painter up here twice, double click it so that it stays compressed. Come back over the column that you're on, column C, and hit Control Space, and that will format the entire column for you. You can hit Escape. All right, so I'm going to run through that one more time, and this time here I am in the F&B spreadsheet, and I'm going to do it for the general ledger, the dollar amounts right here. So I want to know, are these dollar amounts matched exactly with my other sheet, which is the right view web? Okay, so I'm going to hit conditional format, new rule. On this one, I have to go to classic first. You may not have to. You want to find the way to select, use a formula to determine which cells. You're going to enter the formula equals count if, open your parentheses, go to the right view page, go to the dollar amounts, which are this column right here, comma, space, You don't have to put a space, but it helps. And then I'm going to highlight the cell I'm on, right there. Close parentheses, greater than 0. I'm going to go back in. I'm going to change this to 1,000 so it does a longer line, and I'm going to get rid of this dollar mark. And then I want it to be green, not red. So I'm going to put green. Hit OK. Now that this is formatted, it's working, I'm going to double click, copy formatter, come back over that column and just hit Control Space. You hold them down together, Control Space, and it highlights that whole square for you. Okay. So what this tells you is that here's all your invoices in F&B. All right. If it's green, then that invoice is on your right view web as well. If this is green and your dollar amount is green, then chances are it's 100% correct. If it's green, like this Cisco invoice, but the dollar amount is white, that means this invoice number is on your general ledger, but the dollar amount's different. Probably slightly different because it's a Cisco invoice and we know how those are allocated. What you really want to look for, though, are any of the invoice numbers that are white and the dollar amounts are white, like this group right here. This could be an indication that these invoices are missing from your general ledger. Once you're here, if it makes it easier for you, you can continue to sort however you want. You can go in and drop down and sort by vendor, sort by date, whatever works better. I want to go over to Right View Web real quick, and I'm going to do the same thing, except instead of coming from our list of invoices to the general ledger, I'm going to look at our general ledger and see what matches in here to our list. So it's basically the same thing, just from one sheet to a different sheet. So I'm going to start with my invoice numbers. Conditional formatting, new rule. You may not have to select classic. Use a formula, equals COUNTIF, open parentheses. I want it to look through this whole row right here, column C. I say row, it's this whole column C is what it needs to search for that invoice number. Comma space. And then I'm going to come back to Right View Web and click that. This is what I want it to match. That cell, close the parentheses, greater than 0. I'm going to not count just through line 17. I'm going to count all the way through line 1000. So I'm changing that. And I'm going to get rid of that. Oh, I deleted the 5. I want to get rid of the last dollar sign there. And I want it to be green instead of red. You can make that whatever you want. Okay. Oh, did I mess this one up somehow? Let's see. 1000. Oh, I did mess this one up. Sorry. I'll do it one more time. See what I messed up there. So it is formatted. It's just not highlighting because this square doesn't have a match. So you'll see when I do the same step and use my format painter and then come back over and use Control Space to highlight the whole line, it should have formatted some cells. It didn't. I'm going to redo it because I messed it up somewhere. So conditional formatting, manage rules, applies to, yeah, edit this rule. Let me start over. Count if, go back to the row I want to count, should be this guy, comma, it matches this one, close parentheses, greater than 0. I'm going to change this to 1000. And I'm going to get rid of this dollar sign. Hit OK. Okay. And we're good. There goes the highlight. Okay, sorry, I kind of screwed that one up for you. I'm going to do it one more time so you can see it one final time. I'll go through this a little quickly. So now we're trying to do the amounts, okay? So get on that first amount, conditional formatting, new rule, classic, use formula. I'm going to fill it with green. I selected the wrong thing. Sorry. Use formula equals countif. Doing dollar amounts. I'm going to come over to F&B. It's going to be this row right here. I should really start on the top one. Makes it easier. Comma space. And then come back to the original one. It needs to match this. Close my parentheses. Greater than 0. I'm going to make it run down to 1,000. You can make this 9,000 or whatever. 1,000 covered mine. It depends on how long your stuff is. And I'm going to get rid of this last dollar symbol. Okay, there. I'm going to do conditional formatting. I'm going to come back over and I will control space. And we're good. So now we're looking at the general ledger side and trying to match it to the F&B side. So what this says is, hey, here's an invoice right here, right? This line, it's all white. Means this number and this dollar amount, neither of those are on my F&B report. So the question is this really my invoice? Same goes for these. All these numbers right here, these are invoice numbers that are in my general ledger, but they're not on my Foodiger. Yet, if you look at this example, so here's 2 invoice numbers that aren't in F&B, but the exact dollar amounts are. So I'm going to look into that, but chances are what that's telling me is there's just a different mistype on the invoice number. So maybe it's an invoice that's like W429939. And on the general ledger, they just chose to put in the last digits. That can be kind of typical. But this will allow you just to print both pages out. So what I found works best is now that both are formatted, sorry, I'll stop scrolling through this. Now that both pages are formatted, you can just set your print parameters so that all the columns are on the same page and print the RVW and then print the F&B page separate. Keep them side by side for reference, and it gives you a quick look at where all your problems are so you can dig in a lot faster. Anyway, I hope this helps, man. I will work on the better formula for next month and probably kick it out to everybody. I'll just send this to you for now, and if you need to share it, feel free. Holler if you need any help, man. Thanks.